Dun dun dun! It's the death card! And guess what? Spoiler alert, when the death card comes up, no, it doesn't mean you're gonna die. No, it doesn't mean necessarily that someone in your life is gonna die. What it really symbolizes is change. So, just because someone is a psychic doesn't necessarily mean that they are a medium that wants to talk to your Aunt Tessie and your Uncle Bob. This is a huge myth out there. I can talk to your loved ones in spirit, but it's not my main forte. It's not my main mode of receiving. I tend to be a medium for the archangels, the ascended masters, for your spirit guides, for those higher guides out in the world. So for this segment, I'm excited to be myth-busting some metaphysical falsehoods. And of course, I have my trusty cohort, Keone. Keone, how are you?
I am doing fabuloso.
Oh, I love to hear that. Let's do some myth busting. I'm ready to do some breakthroughs, like smashing through all of the I want to say the limiting beliefs, and limiting beliefs are connected to the Hierophant in the tarot. So let's do some Hierophant work and break through some limiting beliefs. What you got for me?
Well, let's softball the first one in. You have to be a psychic to read tarot.
What? That's a myth out there? That's something that people believe?
Yes, that you have to be
Okay.
psychic. It's tarot is only done by psychic. If you're someone who just picked up a deck of tarot cards, you're just tarot cards. You're just talking nonsense because you're not a psychic.
Okay. So the system of divination that is tarot is exactly that. Tarot started, I don't know how many centuries ago, as a game. And it was a card game. It wasn't even designed to be sort of fortune telling. And somewhere in sort of the process of its journey, it became that because people started to notice that it was becoming a little more prophetic, or that it was speaking their life through the cards. But there's an actual system. So with tarot, and I don't know if I've ever shared this story. I feel like I have shared this story in the past, but just to sort of nuts and bolts it, I was always drawn to the tarot. But every time I tried to learn the tarot, I would left brain it, and I would go into this like crazy sort of memorize every card kind of thing. And I remember the first time that I showed with a brand new mentor, and I was like on my journey, and this was like, I was getting ready to hang the shingle on the door, and I was like, I've taken tarot classes before, and never been successful at it. This is going to be the one. And so I had shown her, I brought my Rider-Waite-Smith tarot deck with me, and it had all of these little yellow Post-it notes with the tiniest of writing for all of the word descriptions on it. I was trying to memorize it, and I had recorded things, and I was listening to it as I was sleeping to try and, understand these 78 decks and like all the different meanings. And she took one look at it. Like she kind of went through it, and you could see her face, and she's like, "So how's that working out for you?" And I was like, "I don't understand this. I don't get it. I'm so overwhelmed." And she's like, "Okay, let's put it to the side. Put that to the side. We're going to pick a different deck, one that you've never seen before, and we're going to explore the stories that are depicted on the deck." So I needed to access my intuition in order to be able to connect to the system of tarot. Not every tarot reader needs to do that. There are tarot readers that have studied each of the exact meanings of the cards, and they understand and know the system of tarot. They've done the memorization work, and then they've sort of extrapolated upon that and used their intuition to get the information. But there's a distinction here. I don't call myself a tarot reader. I call myself a psychic intuitive who uses tarot as a tool. But there are other people out there that call themselves tarot readers. those are the ones that understand the system of tarot. So, no, you don't have to be psychic to read tarot. And in fact, if you use my example, I am a psychic. I was psychic back then. I'm psychic now. And I had to completely approach the system of tarot not as a system. And I had to come at it from that intuitive and interpretive space first. And then the system of divination came to me. Then I was able to wrap my head around the actual system of it. So yeah, you don't need to be psychic to get information from those cards.
Here we go. Uh-oh, this one's gonna get you, Stacy. Tarot cards will fly out of the deck when spirits are really serious. Now I'm scared because you have those things pop out all the time. I don't know what's going on.
I do. Okay, so you have a number of readers that say, I won't read anything that pops out of the deck. I don't consider that, a message or, and then you've got other tarot readers who are like, oh, that's a jumper, so I need to pay attention to that. I happen to fall into the, oh, that's a jumper category. Like for me, the way that I connect with the cards, I look for a card that where like a single card is sort of sticking out, or if something falls or flips over, not a pile of them, just one, a single card that pops out and flips over. Yeah, I'm going to read that because I do see that. That's how I connect with my team, with my guides, my dream team, is I'm like, okay, make it super obvious to me. But is that the right way or the only way? No, not at all. And if you don't identify with that, then no. If a pile of cards falls out, that doesn't necessarily mean that your guides are trying to point something out to you, unless your eye is drawn to something in particular. Sometimes it can mean you just did a bad shuffle job. So yeah, it just depends on, I want to say, how you connect with your deck.
And oh, this is one that almost falls in the place of religion. Tarot should replace therapy or medical advice.
Oh, hell no. Tarot is a tool like all other things. Psychic guidance is a tool. Intuition is a tool. Um, Books are a tool to help you access and connect with your inner core, what your truth is. Tarot is not designed to replace therapy, but I will say to you, back in the day when I was really going through a dark night of the soul, I was working with a coach, a life coach. And it was actually right at the time when life coaching was just first new. And I didn't even understand what the hell a life coach was. But I connected with this person and I was, talking about things, and it was a great sounding board. And she would pull out angel cards and she would ask, would you like some angel cards? And I'm like, hell yes, I'll take some angel cards. And those angel cards would enhance or validate the work or the messaging that we did. And because I gravitated to that, that was just a confirmation that I was on the right path. But, if I was having some real mental stuff, you need to, you don't want to bring, what do they say? You don't want to bring a gun to a knife fight, right? Like, or you don't want to bring a knife to a gunfight. However, the phrase is, you want to pick the right tool for the right job. Therapy is therapy and it has its place. Coaching is coaching and it has its place. Tarot, I would say, is one more tool that you can use to access and enhance so that you get a well-rounded picture, direction, guidance as you're moving through something. But yeah, no, I mean, why do you think so many readers say for entertainment purposes only? Because, like it's not an exact science and it's going to be different for everyone. And, tarot isn't there to tell you how to live your life. Tarot is there to open your mind to the potentials and the possibilities of what is available for you on your path.
Okay, for my last question, we get to pull from the serious pile or the funny pile.
Oh, let's do funny. We need some more funniness in our
All right.
today.
If you pull three of swords, it's time to cancel your plans and cry in the bathtub.
Oh, so Three of Swords, yes, it's a card of heartbreak. It often indicates that there's a wounding, but the Three of Swords is also very much a card of healing, and it's a card that indicates self care. It's time to do some self care and some self love, and perhaps to kind of get the fark out of your head a little bit. So I mean, it's when you pull the Three of Swords, unless you are in that state where you are, crying and very upset and just like looking for comfort and guidance, I would say to you, the card isn't telling you to go cry in the bathroom. The card is acknowledging that maybe you might need to practice a little self-care and maybe just kind of pull back that day, or not go out that day, or call a trusted friend, someone that you feel safe with, to do that. But no, I mean, if you're happy, you're just pulling a random card pull for the day, you're feeling great and everything's going well, and you get a Three of Swords, don't panic. No, you don't need to go cry in the bathtub for 17 hours, but be prepared for the fact that there may be some things that pop up for you in that day that are going to open you to some healing and invite you into a space of self-love and self-care.
Maybe, but also maybe just check your group chat. Drama is a brewing.
100%. 100%. Actually, Three of Cups usually is about the drama and the gossip and all that kind of stuff. Three of Swords is the damage that we can do to ourselves and our minds. Words hurt,
Mhm.
words cut. And sometimes we just have to remove those words or those memories from the heart space in order for the heart to heal.
I'm gonna pull one of your numbers because psychically I want, even though that was the last one, I want to do this one because it just makes me think of you, and I don't know why.
Okay.
Your cards know all your secrets, especially the ones you thought nobody saw. The moon card might be side eyeing your midnight snack habits.
Oh my God, that is so true. I'm trying to get back on track right now with my eating. So, yes, my cards definitely know my secrets. Well, you know what I'm going to say to you? Myth busting the metaphysical. I'm going to say to you, actually, that's true. Is your cards, when you do develop a relationship with them, everything's energy. When you're working with a deck of cards and you are connecting with that deck, that energy is connected to your energy. That's going to speak to you. And yes, your tarot, I can't tell you how many times I've got something else that I'm thinking about. And I'm like, I don't want to fucking ask that question because I don't really want to know the answer to that question. I won't think about that today. I'll think about that tomorrow. And I ask, three other questions. And every single card pull that I get is answering the question that I don't want to ask. So I'm going to say to you, myth busting the metaphysical, that one isn't a myth. That one is actually truth. So, that's another reason why, and not everyone is sort of obsessed with tarot and oracle cards the way that I am. I just love them so much. And each of them, I have a different relationship with each of them. Each of them has their own language with me, and different flair and different flavor and different energy. So, like there are certain decks where if I want truth delivered in a gentle way, I'll pull one deck over another. If I want, if there's something that I just need like clear cut, direct, boom, then I might go to, a different deck. So it's all in that, I want to say, that relationship building. But if you just have one deck, absolutely, your cards are going to speak to you, because the cards are the tool that allows your guides and your intuition to be able to give you a visual. That's why we go to it, because we get so confused. We're like, I have this question and I'm so confused in my head that I'm not able to get clarity around what the actual answer is, or what is the best option for me at this time. The cards help to give you a visual of that. So there we go. We just did the opposite of what we're supposed to do on myth busting the metaphysical, but there it is. That one is true.
Awesome. Well, we are here to bust the myths, but some of them might be true, so we got it. It's like that show Mythbusters. Sometimes they found things that was the purpose of it. Is this truly a myth or not?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So true or false? That one's true. It's our first true. Ding, ding, ding.
Martin, put a sound in for that. All right, Stacy.
So that is our myth busting the metaphysical for this segment of Black Feather Couture, Divining a VIP Life. Always so great to connect with you guys, and we will see you on the flip side. Dun dun dun! It's the death card! And guess what? Spoiler alert, when the death card comes up, no, it doesn't mean you're gonna die. No, it doesn't mean necessarily that someone in your life is gonna die. What it really symbolizes is change. So, just because someone is a psychic doesn't necessarily mean that they are a medium that wants to talk to your Aunt Tessie and your Uncle Bob. This is a huge myth out there. I can talk to your loved ones in spirit, but it's not my main forte. It's not my main mode of receiving. I tend to be a medium for the archangels, the ascended masters, for your spirit guides, for those higher guides out in the world.